500,000 Aussies are facing a mortgage cliff. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's look at this article from news.com.au discussing a mortgage cliff that 500,000 Aussies are facing. Now, is this something we should be worried about? Should we be concerned? Should we give in to the fear? Is this going to tumble housing prices? Are we going to get that 40% correction that we all want so housing we can swoop in and get those bargain prices? Or is this, well, just something that Aussies need to prepare for because none of us trusted the RBA when Philip Lowe said rates weren't going to rise? Now, for those of you playing at home, the cash rate is up to 0.35%. Significantly lower than 3%, which used to be considered like an emergency rate to give them buffer to move. And Philip Lowe isn't a fan of going negative. So long as we have him as the head of the Reserve Bank, we're not going to see negative rates because it actually doesn't work. People save more, he's saying. In Europe, they've found that people, when they get negative rates, they save more. And negative rates are a terrible thing because it penalizes businesses that need to have cash set aside just to run a business. So let's have a look at this one, guys. The 500,000 Aussies facing a mortgage cliff. Hundreds of thousands of mortgage holders face a jarring surge in repayment costs in the coming months as ultra-low fixed-term plans wind down. Well, okay, here's the thing. When did you lock in your rates? I locked in a couple of years ago now, maybe 2 years ago. There's an episode where I mention it. I got 1.99%. Now I'm locked in for 4 years until 2024, till November. I've got time to plan for that, and I have. Now let's say you're like me, and I'll chuck a scenario here. This is one I've shown a few times. 580 is the median mortgage. You're at 1.99, and say you got 30 years on it. Your repayments are going to jump significantly if you hit 5% variable when you jump out, or 5% fixed when you jump out, when one rate expires to a next. You're looking at another $1,000 a month pretty much that you have to find in repayments. But you have time. You've got time to prepare for that. No one should be surprised. Okay, this should not be a surprise to anyone. Now remember, there were all of the interest-only mortgages that were going to evaporate, and the investors were apparently going to flood the market with their property, and it was going to be calamitous. Now, that didn't happen because people had time to prepare. Now, as much as the media and it feels like the politicians and the bureaucrats, particularly the left-leaning ones, seem to think we're all dumb, stupid idiots that can't even tie our own shoelaces without government instructions, I honestly don't think most Australians are that stupid. You're always going to have the 5% that are in financial mess no matter what they do. These are the type of people that you can offer a job to and give opportunities to, and they just won't appreciate it. There are always going to be those type of people all in every civilization. There'll always be a group like that. And I would argue there's a duty of care to take care of those people. But you've got to understand that the media will amp that up because it gets the views and it pushes an agenda. How many times have we seen over the last 2 years ABC article after ABC article with some person attacking the government for a policy, this or that or the other, and saying they had to skip a meal to feed their kid, or loan payday lenders ripped me off and I just skip a meal. It's all designed to emotionally manipulate you to steer you in a particular way. And it gets the views. Sob stories and sad news gets the views. I was on the Luna Reddit looking at it, and there were so many people there just wanting the doomer economic crash and crypto crash news because I was there too. I was fascinated hearing the horror stories of people losing all of their money. I couldn't believe it. So you've got to understand we're going to see that in the media. And there's probably I would say portraying, overrepresenting that part of our society. Okay, so I'm a little bit, perhaps naively so, more confident that Australians are going to prepare for this cliff because other cliffs in the past that we've seen, people have prepared for. So let's look. Borrowers who locked in super cheap mortgages during the coronavirus pandemic are fast approaching a storm that is likely to result in much steeper monthly repayments. Analysts and finance experts are tipping home loan costs to rocket for those who fixed their mortgages at a historic low rate during the early stages of COVID-19, as their generous terms expire over the next year or so. So you've got time. I mean, what are you doing with that extra money? Are you stashing it aside? Are you just, some people are making additional repayments, or are you building up a cash reserve? This is what many analysts refer to as a cliff, with CanStar finance executive Steve Meckenbacker warning as many as 500,000 borrowers could hit that point overnight. Really? Only those who still have time left on their fixed-rate loan term will be spared. Increases to repayments may not sound like a big stretch, but with wage growth having fallen behind the cost of living, living rates increases will add to financial pressures on many households. Yes, times are going to get tough. You know what's going to happen? People are going to learn what's a luxury, and people are going to learn what isn't a luxury. You're going to have to tighten the belt. You're going to have to stop eating out so much. You're going to have to cut the smokes. You're going to have to cut the alcohol, cut all the subscription services, cut back on the stuff you don't need. Learn to cook at home. Maybe grow some of your own food. Find ways to save money. Walk a bit more rather than drive everywhere. Be smarter with your insurances. Shop around a bit. Turn off those extra lights. You're going to turn into your parents. That's what's going to happen. You know, to all the dads out there, how many of you have heard yourself saying the same things your father has said? Turn off that bloody light. I'm not made of money. It's scary the first time it happens. So, the number of people taking out super low fixed rate loans understandably surged in 2020 as the RBA slashed borrowing costs to help the economy keep ticking over. Yeah, because none of us trusted the RBA to not raise rates in 2024. So you want to take advantage of this. We're not going to see these rates again unless everything goes down the gurgler and we get another recession and they have to intervene again. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't suspect that's going to happen. I think foreign demand for a lot of the commodities that Australia produces will continue. The RBA also repeatedly forecast there would be no need to hike rates until 2024. But to the shock. Okay, it shocked the governor, but it didn't shock any of us. Let me know if you were shocked that Lowe had to raise rates. But to the shock of Governor Philip Lowe and his board, if not the economists who warned of such an outcome, a stronger than expected surge in inflation has brought forward a hiking cycle. War in Ukraine, ongoing COVID-19 supply chain disruptions forced the RBA this month to pull the trigger on the first of what is likely to be a number of rate hikes coming in this year. It's going to be interesting to see if the rate hike is actually going to do anything with how is it going to impact supply chain disruptions, surging costs of imported products. I guess it will hopefully ease some of the housing sector demand for that, but you know that's been stimulated so much by the government intervention, and now you've got either Labor's going to buy 40% of your house, das vidanya, comrade, or you've got Liberals take 50 grand of your super out and invest, lend your own money to yourself to buy a house. So we've got both major parties, creating systems to help first home buyers, which we know is going to drive up the rates, guys. I prefer the Liberal approach to it because it's leading us down the path of allowing people to have more control over their own money. It's baby steps, guys. It's baby steps. The state owning a portion of your house is just, it's disgusting. We shouldn't even be exploring that, and I'm shocked that people are even accepting that. Anyway, let's keep going with this. So the cash rate target on May 3rd was lifted for the first time in a decade, rising by a stronger than expected 25 basis points from 0.1% to 0.35%. Several more rate hikes are expected over 2022 and 2023, with Westpac tipping the cash rate target to peak at 2.25% next May. Essentially, this means those in 2020 who took out a fixed-term loan for 3 years, generally the most common time period, now face a sudden leap in costs when those conditions expire in 2023. Yes, but our costs went down. So when you signed up in 2020 for 3 years, you were getting a bloody cheap deal, guys. Okay? It's not like maybe it might be new people who got into housing. there, they will be the ones that are shocked. All the people with established loans will probably be okay. Mr. Mickenbacker says a common scenario could see people moving from a fixed rate of near 2% to a market where rates are 5% or higher in a day. The big banks in recent months repeatedly hiked the cost of fixed interest rate loans in the face of mounting inflationary pressures and the increasing likelihood of RBA action. RateCity.com research director Sally Tyndall, prior to the May RBA hike, said people who fixed their loans for years under 2% will be laughing all the way to the bank on the back of hikes, knowing they're immune to any rate changes for at least another couple of years. However, she says anyone coming off a fixed rate is going to be in for an almighty shock, what the banks have to offer. Now, here's the thing. You shouldn't be in for a shock. You should be aware and planning for this increase. So let's have a talk about this. Now, this is another article I feel we're going to see more and more of I'll say the narrative of the stupid Australian that needs the government and the banks and the authorities to take care of them. Now, hopefully, people are going to prepare. You're going to have some that'll fall over that they probably couldn't tie their shoelaces without Anthony Albanese giving them a workplace docket or something. But you're going to have people there that are going to prepare and will be able to handle it. Now, it will manifest in reduced retail and discretionary spending because people are going to have to tighten their belt. So all the crap that you people were frittling away money on, it's going to decrease. That's where we'll see it first. We'll have to see if it actually manifests into a significant issue. I think we'll see rents increasing, particularly with the current rental crisis we're having in many parts of the country. But I don't think this is going to be the calamitous thing that pushes the housing market down to that correction everyone's hoping for, guys. And we've got to remember, the media, the establishment, they don't think much of us Aussies. And I think Australians are a little bit more resilient than we're given credit for. What do you reckon? Am I just being overly optimistic, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're like me and if you've got a mortgage, what are you doing? Are you preparing? Let us know. It gives hints and tips. I'm just, what I was doing before when I had a variable rate, I would attack my mortgage with micropayments. So every time I found another $5, $10, $20 here, every time, like I cobbled together, maybe I did a stupid crypto thing, got $10 of Ethereum from Coinbase, that would all go off the mortgage. Just steadily, all these little tiny payments off the mortgage would build up, and then boom, you're a week ahead, you're another week ahead, oh, you're a month ahead, you're 2 months, you're 6 months ahead. People will find a way. If you like the channel and you want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up using our referral links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, or if you need an architect, you can use our architectural services. We do a lot of commercial and education work. Take care, guys. I'll see you all next time. And watch out for that mortgage cliff. I'm sure you'll be fine. Well, those of you that watch the channel, you've got no excuse. You know it's coming, okay? You know it's coming. If you're going to fake falling over to get an ABC article and get paid, good on you. But you should bloody well know.